All right, good morning, everybody. Appreciate everyone coming. I know it's a busy time of the year with session going on and all the issues that we've still got on the table. I'm Jim Kajchuk on behalf of the Illinois Sheriff's Association. Happy to be here this morning. The Sheriff's Association represents 102 counties, 102 sheriffs in the state of Illinois. We're fortunate this morning to have a couple of those sheriffs with us this morning. I've got Sheriff Rick Robbins from Montgomery County, Sheriff David Clegg, our president of the organization from Knox County, Sheriff Pat Hartshorn from Vermilion County, our chair of our legislative committee, and Sheriff Jack Campbell, who's here as well from Sangamon County. All of us standing up here before you today want one thing: safe communities. Each of us has a role in achieving that, but law enforcement can't do it without our legislators, nor can legislators do it without law enforcement. What we've come to learn is that both groups need to have a stronger relationship and more frequent dialogue if we want to have safe communities. So today, the Illinois Sheriff's Association is launching a lawmaker ride-along program. It sounds simple. Starting this summer, lawmakers will be invited at least annually to ride with their local sheriff to get a first-hand view of the challenges in our communities. This will provide lawmakers a real-time view of what we see when we're on patrol, and it will be the beginning of an ongoing dialogue on how we can work together. Just as important, our sheriffs will visit these same lawmakers in their districts to provide feedback on pending bills in Springfield. We know that our legislators want safe communities and that this is the center of many pieces of legislation as we've seen this year. But to really provide law enforcement the tools that they need and to really solve problems, it's going to take an ongoing dialogue, and that's what we're beginning the process with today. This is why we're thrilled to have several sheriffs here with us today, and we're honored to have these legislators that hold important positions here in Springfield with us. And now I'd like to turn it over to Sheriff Dave Clegg out of Knox County. Sheriff?
Good morning. My comment will be very brief. This is kind of a first of a program that we hope will succeed for the Illinois Sheriff's Association as well as our lawmakers. What occurs in Knox County, Illinois may be a little bit different than Cook County, and that's the whole idea of the communication, the dialogue between the sheriffs and the lawmakers during this period of time to get a sense as where we're coming from on an issue and vice versa. I think it's going to be very beneficial. We appreciate the lawmakers very much as far as their agreement to participate with us, and hopefully we can come together as a group, and as the director said, our primary goal is to prevent or keep our public safe from harm, as well as the gatekeepers, our correctional officers, to keep the bad guys locked up until they're deemed going to Department of Corrections or being released. So it's going to be a cooperative group session, and we expect great benefits from doing this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited about this new program. As you all know, the state of Illinois is a very diverse, large state, and we have issues that come up in metropolitan areas, and maybe they're not the same fixes that we need for rural areas of our state. And so the first way that we can start dealing with these issues is to start forming relationships with people who write the bills and those that have to live with the laws that have been created. And so by forming these relationships between the sheriffs and the legislators, I think we'll have an opportunity to trust each other, get honest answers to what it takes to police a free society from the north end of the state to the south end of the state. Thank you.
We need to get your name, please.
Pat Hartshorn, H-A-R-T.
Can you go here to the mic so we can record it?
Pat Hartshorn, H-A-R-T-S-H-O-R-N.
All right, good morning, everyone. Justin Slaughter, Illinois State Representative of the 27th District, representing the south side of Chicago, southwest Cook County suburbs. Also serving as chairman of the House Judiciary Criminal Committee. We work extensively, and exclusively, I should say, with law enforcement, whether that's our local police departments, our county sheriffs, all the way up to our Illinois State Police. Listen, make no mistake about it. When we talk about criminal justice reform, it's important that we focus on law enforcement practices and accountability. But more than anything, it's important that we shed light on making sure that we establish and maintain and restore trust and confidence in our local police departments, our county sheriffs, and our Illinois State Police. I'm happy we're here today to launch the first of its kind statewide lawmaker ride-along program. I want to commend the Executive Director of the Illinois Sheriff's Association, Jim Kychek, for putting this together and getting this off the ground. Equally important, I want to thank just our brave and honorable officers here that are here today representing law enforcement. And to my colleagues, I can't say enough about them. Senator Van Pelt, my sister from the west side of Chicago, Senator Moreau, their dedication and commitment to public safety actually is evident. Just look at the initiatives that they're pushing, and I just want to commend them for everything that they're doing. We're here to demonstrate in the show that this is about a partnership. It's about collaboration. You know, when I work with Jim sometimes we do disagree, and you know, he'll say, "Hey, Rep. Slaughter, I totally understand where you're coming from, but you really need to come, you know, see what happens in our local police departments and our sheriff's departments. Come to the communities that we serve. Come immerse yourself in the operations so you can see some of the concerns, some of the issues that, you know, they address on a daily basis." And so the program, and just been joined by another giant, as I would refer to him, Senate Chair of the Criminal Committee, State Senator L.G. Sims. But how do we immerse ourselves so that we can get a true, comprehensive understanding of what happens with law enforcement? And so the program's going to be actually pretty robust. It's not just the legislators, I think, going on these ride-alongs. I believe law enforcement is also going to come to the legislators' districts, talk with the legislators about certain matters, and also even maybe engage with the community in regards to hearing their concerns and hearing some of the issues that they have. You know, so there's a lot of opportunity here for collaboration. Oftentimes, you know, we get here in Springfield, and obviously as lawmakers we're introducing and pushing bills, but we want to start to put more energy, more effort, more time into building a partnership in between sessions. So there is a little bit more, or I should say a lot more, consensus on the efforts and the initiatives that we're pushing. And so I'm just elated that we are not trying to do things in a vacuum, not trying to do things isolated from each other, but this is an effort to bring us together in a partnership. So I want to thank my colleagues, thank the honorable officers here that are representing law enforcement, and to Jim, thank you. Can't say enough about the energy and the effort that you've put into this to try to get this off the ground once and for all. So first time, first of its kind, statewide ride-along program, and we are expecting a lot of beneficial, you know, dialogue that'll come out of this initiative. So thanks for being here, and appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone. John Mulrow, State Senator of the 10th District. It's the northwest side of Chicago and surrounding suburbs. I just want to start out by saying serving in the General Assembly has been an awesome experience. You sort of get out of your box in your community, and you get to meet tremendous people from all over the state of Illinois and learn about all these issues that you may never have learned about unless you were down here. So this, in my opinion, is sort of an extension of that. We are going to be able, as legislators, be able to walk in police officers' shoes so we can better understand the challenges that they face and the interaction that they have between the committees or communities that have requested their assistance. So I think this is just another awesome experience that I can't wait for, and I'm just really happy to be a part of. Thank you.
The giant.
Good morning. LG Sims, State Senator, 17th District, Chairman of the Criminal Law Committee in the Illinois Senate. This is a unique opportunity, and I'm so pleased to be standing here with my colleagues and the men of law enforcement, men and women of law enforcement, as we talk about improving community relations between law enforcement and the communities that they serve. We're going to have to come to see common ground. And that's really what this ride-along process is about, developing that common ground, understanding the lens that the community sees law enforcement through, but also the lens through which law enforcement sees the community. And that's why this is a very unique opportunity that I'm excited that we're going to be able to participate in. We have men and women across this state who are doing tremendous work. And there are communities across this state who look to law enforcement to assist them in the work and the quality of improving the quality of life for them and their families. And this opportunity will allow for that. I am looking forward to the opportunity to have members of law enforcement come to my community and the communities that I represent to talk through these issues. I had the opportunity earlier this year to meet with the sheriffs from across the state to talk about some of these issues, and this is an outgrowth of those conversations, making sure that we are able to close that gap so that we can truly understand each other. When you can walk in someone else's shoes, you can have a true understanding of their perspective, and that's what this initiative is about. And I'm looking forward to it. I've talked to other folks who have done ride-alongs in other situations and scenarios, and I'm excited about the prospect. But I'm equally excited about having those candid conversations with law enforcement and communities. I want them to be able to understand and hear the perspective from the communities that they serve. It's not there. I've always said, and I've always talked to others about the fact that not all law enforcement, they are not all bad actors, but nor are all communities are not all filled with suspects. So we want to be able to have those candid conversations with each other to understand the perspective of each other, so that we can close those gaps. We can have a relationship that's built on mutual respect and trust. That's what this initiative is all about. Having a relationship that's built on mutual respect and trust between communities and law enforcement. So I'm excited. I'm excited about this prospect. I'm excited about the opportunity to engage in these conversations. Excited about the outcomes that will happen. This is a unique opportunity, and again, I can't thank the men and women of law enforcement to being open to this, and I can't thank the communities enough that for being open to this opportunity as well. So again, thank you all for being here. This is going to be an amazing experience. I'm looking forward to the strengthened community relationships that will come from this experience and how this will improve law enforcement and community relations statewide. Thank you so much.
Once again, I get to follow my state senator, LG Sims. What an honor. I think if people know that in the Senate, the three senators that are standing here have always pushed for criminal justice reform and just overall moving our state forward. And I think relationships are important. I have a great relationship with my senator. He's my friend. His family is my friend. And I think that in order for communities to improve, you have to have a relationship. And right now we have breakdowns in relationships all over the state when it comes to particular communities, with minority and low-income communities and our law enforcement. And what have we done to address it? Not enough, but I'm so happy to be a part of the state of Illinois and have a sheriff's association and local law enforcement that are saying, let's not talk about the problem, let's take action. Let's have our leaders connect to demonstrate that we can build these relationships, that it's not hopeless, that it's not us against them, but it's all of us pushing in the right direction. So again, thank you to my colleague, Representative Slaughter, and again, all of the partners, and I'm happy to play a role to help to build bridges and improve communities. It's all about love, and it's all about understanding, and we're doing that today and taking real action and getting real results. So thank all of the partners, and again, let's continue to move forward this state of Illinois, not just for the state of Illinois, but let's be an example to the entire nation. We're in the middle, in the heart of this country. Let's be the heart of the country. So thank you.
All right, with that, we take some questions that relate to the program. This is going to be better than Live PD. I just want to point that out. You know, you talk about programs like COPS and Live PD. They've been running forever, so how can this not work?
There have been ride-along programs before. What sets this one apart from things that have been done?
Well, I mean, I think we've had informal ride-along programs, but one of the things about this is it's not just a matter of the sheriffs offering an opportunity for the legislators to come ride along with them or their deputies and see how things work. But this is going to be a continual dialogue that they have, you know, on the issues that, you know, I would hope that Sheriff Clay could pick up the phone and call Representative Evans on an issue and say, hey, this is something that's going on in my community. What do you suggest we do about it? And vice versa. I want Representative Evans to be able to pick up the phone and say, these are issues that I'm seeing in my community. I'm not having any luck at local level. You know, what can you suggest as something that works? This is all about building a relationship to make things a little, you know, one of the things that I think we see a lot is we attempt to solve just about every issue via legislation. And this doesn't necessarily have to be the case. And I think this is an opportunity for us to engage and get some real answers and real solutions to problems that exist out there. Go ahead.
I think when it comes to public safety and criminal justice issues, oftentimes the diversity within our state comes to light. Obviously, we've got our large urban center with Chicago, but we have a lot of suburban areas and a lot of rural areas. One of the unique things about this is a statewide program. So, you know, the objective, I think, is to try to get to all of these different areas, different geographical areas, to understand the intricacies of each of these certain geographic areas. So that's something that I think we want to point to with this program is that, yeah, I've done a ride-along with the Chicago Police Department, but I haven't with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department. And so we wanted to have kind of that cross-collaboration in regards to, you know, legislators experiencing things that they may have not in their specific districts that they represent.
Jim, how's the logistics? If somebody, if a Chicago lawmaker wants to go down to a southern sheriff to kind of see what that area of the state's like, do they do that on their own dime? How do you facilitate this if lawmakers, logistically, how does this program, one, come together? And secondly, did you do any pilot? Have you had any?
This is the pilot, Terry. I mean, I would say that we're starting out with seven legislators to start out with. We're a staff of 3 in the Sheriff's Association, so we want to make sure that this can work and work well before we start expanding it too much. We certainly want to be able to crawl before we run here. There's lots of challenges associated with this. You know, I think we'll find mechanisms in terms of answering your question on expenses as they go through. We'll try to make arrangements for that. But this is going to be very similar to other programs that happen from a statewide basis right now. Farm Bureau has a tremendous program already. This is going to be very similar in nature to that. Certainly not identical by any stretch, but it's doing those same kind of things. As Representative Slaughter indicated, you know, there's a considerable difference between urban policing in a lot of cases versus rural policing. You know, you may go a shift in an 8-hour shift with not a whole lot of calls for service. In Chicago PD, you know, they're call to call to call to call all day long until they're done. It's a little different. So where their level of anxiousness doesn't get too up in Chicago, I would say, because they're always hitting it. When you get a call for service, when you're out patrolling and it hadn't been your call and you've been on duty for 3 hours and all of a sudden you get a real big one, that anxiety increases, the level of intensity increases. So it's just different. Other
Sheriff
questions?
Campbell, what are you looking forward to in Springfield? Would it be Senator Menard, or who will you be inviting?
Oh, I don't care. You know, we're here to provide a ride for anybody. And you know, one of the things we've done citizen ride-alongs and citizens police academies, try to inform the citizens of what we do in law enforcement in Sangamon County. This is a chance to give the people that really make those decisions, that really can impact the lives of our deputies, a chance to sit riding shotgun with them and to go on that call.
I mean, police officers go up to do a traffic stop and expecting, you know, pretty calm situation, and it turns volatile. And the person who's driving the car pulls a gun out and starts shooting at the police officer. Same with executing a warrant. So I'm looking forward to that because I've never experienced it, but I can't imagine, you know, what they go through on a daily basis, time after time after time. They do the stop and expecting whatever it is, and the unknown has to be very frightening to them. And I think for us, you know, as legislators, putting ourselves in their shoes, it'll give us a better understanding of what they're going through, and also the people that they're stopping too. They're frightened too. And, you know, I think the key to all of this, there's a lot of differences all over the communities. We're going to all come together and find out there's a lot more similarities than differences, and there's a lot more good people out there than bad. But, and I think we all share that as well, but it's good to actually experience it.
When does the program start, and how long will it run? Is it going to run indefinitely?
Yeah, it's going to start in July, so we're going to give everybody, we know we're adjourning May 31st. Let's preface that. But then we're going to start it in July, where we're going to do the invitations, probably to come out to some of these sheriff's offices. To answer your question that you had for Sheriff Campbell, Representative Evans is going to be his person that we're going to start out with, because Representative Evans specifically asked me and wanted to do some local things to develop some relationships. And you talk about from a lobbying perspective, this is the easiest sold program I've ever had. So this hasn't been working a bill or anything else. These ladies and gentlemen, in terms of the legislators that we've talked to, have been nothing but agreeable to do this, because I think they see, I know they see, the level of benefit that can come from this just like we do.
And that's why I think the unique nature of this program is exciting for me, because in addition to the legislators being able to see what the law enforcement officers see on a daily basis, the second part of this program is that we're going to go into communities and have really honest dialogue with each other, candid conversations about what our constituents are seeing, what the communities are seeing every day. It's not going to just be us going on the ride along, but it's the other part that we're going to have some very tough conversations, and that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about the totality of the pilot program, because when we are able to talk about these issues together and see what everybody sees, and not that every officer is bad, and not that every person is a suspect. That is the benefit to this program. The fact that we can have those very candid conversations that you might not be able to have in an open forum, but being in a setting where people are honest with each other. That's why this is going to be so. This is really exciting, a really exciting prospect to me. Thank you. Other questions? Okay.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Jim.